My name is Pedro. I'm from Spain, and this is Etsy Shop Audit.
I think we just brought the energy to this, is what I think. I think we brought it from the universe and we made it happen here on this Etsy Shop Audit. That's what I think.
We're creating this truly spiritual and connection moment between all of us. I mean it, guys.
I believe it as well.
I was feeling it like a bit of a knot for a moment, and all of a sudden it exploded into something beautiful with everyone commenting, and I see it. I see the clarity.
All right, Pedro, we are going to jump into your Etsy Shop Audit. I'm going to go ahead and pronounce your shop name. It's Mount Enso. 4 months old is the shop age at the time that you submitted that to me. The niche, spiritual people, yoga, meditation, practitioners. Sticking point, niche and product validation. And then total revenue, I put 26 sales because that's what I saw on the shop, because I think at the time you didn't have any sales when you submitted your shop, and you have 26. And income goal, we just talked about this off air, 5,000. I scaled it up to 10,000. I think I did that. So it's close, right? I mean, I had 10 and you were like, oh, I actually said 5. And I'm like, well, we'll shoot for 10.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. All right, cool. So give us a little bit of, I guess, where you're at, but then where do you see you need the most help right now? And I know you put sticking point, niche, and product validation, but you obviously have something picked. So kind of get us up to speed.
Well, to be honest, I have a long list of sticking points. Mainly, I would say finding what my niche is, because I've been kind of running away a little bit from defining that. And I think that is the foundation of, at least of your model, the way you explain how to build a business. So I feel like until I get that established and strong, I cannot build everything that's around it. Ironically enough, when I created my shop, before I discovered you, I started with my niche in mind. I really had this clear idea of the people I wanted to serve. But then I realized that wasn't working. There wasn't enough demand at all in that niche. So then I guess I took your advice of finding 3 to 5 products that could become my best-selling products, that could like jumpstart my store. But at the same time, that translated into a little bit throwing the spaghetti in the wall. I did my product validation, and through that, I started getting my first sales, and I got one kind of best-selling product. But right now, I feel like I'm a bit lost. Like I don't have a clear strategy. So I hope all this rant answered your question.
No, it was great. It was great. I actually like that you started with something that you were passionate about and the people that you wanted to serve. Like I love that, because that shows that you were coming from a place inside that was totally congruent with where you wanted to go, and is like for you to be able to have that direction. Now, that doesn't mean, like you said, you kind of found out no demand there for it,
It was too idealistic, I started with that niche in mind, and I wanted to only make 100% organic cotton clothes, It took me 2 weeks to realize that I was destined to fail. So,
okay. Well, I mean, it's good that you kind of figured that out early, you know what I mean? So you didn't like spend and waste too much time. And I don't think you really waste time anytime you're doing that, because you're working through a process, right? And you're learning things along the way. But now we're at this place where, and you put down there in your notes there, like, spiritual, meditation, like practitioners, so I think like you can definitely find an audience of people that are spiritual. You can definitely find an audience of people that are into yoga, right? Meditation. like that kind of all goes together in my world. It's kind of like I'm thinking about like incense and candles, and then you know, even like certain decor for
Mhm.
the calm place, right? The place that you're going to do your meditation, or just things in general that are going to make you feel good. So I'm just looking at that at like a high level. But then I'm also thinking about the person that's super proud that they're into yoga and they're going to wear that yoga shirt, right? Or the person that's totally spiritual. They're going to wear something that's going to say, "This is me," right? So I do think that you're on the right path. It's just a matter of, let's see. We're going to look at your shop, but let's kind of look and see where we're at with that. And then let's try to get you some direction. I think my goal for you today is to just give you some clarity and help you, you know, maybe get a little bit of direction for the next 60 days. And then you can reevaluate again.
Yeah, that would be great.
You know? So Chris, I know you had some thoughts there. You're kind of, you know, doing this with your chin. That usually means you have a thought.
I'm just jealous of the super awesome Don Quixote beard that
yeah.
has. And I'm wishing mine grew like that instead of like just a giant bush. I think, Pedro, there's definitely something here in this niche, right? And it's more like the Eastern tradition type of a thing. Is that an accurate statement? So it's yoga.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say just to clarify, because what I realized doing searches on Etsy is that spirituality equals Christianity, at least from what I've seen in doing product research. And in my case, if it has to equal a religion, which I don't really consider a religion, but it would be Buddhism. It's more of that kind of philosophy of life, and it absolutely connects more with the Eastern tradition. So you're right in that sense.
Okay. And I think part of that is just where we're looking at products, right? If you said to somebody, "I'm spiritual, not religious," they would understand what that means.
Yeah.
But I think within the Etsy ecosystem, based on how that works, using the word spiritual is almost always connected with some sort of an organized religion. And so we may want to, and again, we'll see this as we pull this up, just tilt that even towards using the word Buddhism or Buddhist or Eastern, right? Something like that, just to give it that that extra little bit of ability to stand out.
Yeah. So before we jump into your expertise, I have to admit that I kind of gave up on that as my niche, because according to my research, there's nothing to do there, really. I mean, we're not talking about 10K, but not even 5K. I mean, you have to remove the K altogether. You know, 10 I could reach, 50 maybe too, but without any Ks, and that's not what I want to do here. So in my mind, in my thought process, I'm almost done with that.
Okay.
I just wanted to wait until my audit with you to, get your insights and have that direction, but that's it.
I would say this though, Pedro, too, from you, the minute you said to me, "This is something that I wanted to do, and it's coming from here," I wouldn't totally put that to bed, right? I'd shelf it for a minute. And the reason why I'm saying that is because let's forget about Etsy for a minute. Let's just forget about Etsy. Okay. It's just you and me and Chris. We're chatting about business. Okay. Etsy is just a platform that, yes, people buy certain products. And yes, we're always talking about find your products that have demand, because usually people are starting at a place of like, they have no idea of a niche. They have no idea who they want to serve. They don't even understand that they want to serve anybody. They just want to sell product. So I guess thing for you to maybe dig a little deeper internally for down the road is there's a lot of opportunity for you to be a person that connects with that audience, YouTube, let's say, right? And you would start something on YouTube that would start to give your philosophy that would help someone that was starting to meditate, someone that was starting to get into Buddhism, someone that was like, you could totally like reach that audience. And then guess what? That audience could buy stuff from you, and it could be sold on Etsy. It could be sold on your own Shopify. It could be sold anywhere. So what I'm saying is like, I don't think you're doing this just for the money. I could be wrong. I think there's something in you that's saying like you want to do this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. If that was my first choice when I decided to do this,
Yeah,
it's because it's a part of my life that I would also like to grow. Because I meditate, I do some extremely basic yoga.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it's something that I would like to grow, and focusing on that. And of course, to begin with, it's something I really believe in.
Mhm.
So
And
that
that's
comes
big.
from deep personal values. But
Sure.
I thought that could work as a business. But I mean, to be 100% honest and clear, this is a business for me.
Mhm.
I don't need all my deepest values to be put and manifested to the world through my business.
Sure.
So, in other words, I'd rather be like I've been doing, designing products related to zodiac and birthstones and birth flowers, which I had no clue about before I started doing this, and making money, making so much money that I can meditate 2 hours a day if I want to.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. So I guess what I was saying was like, I wouldn't put that thing to rest forever, and I think you can still exactly what you're saying now. We're going to dig in and we'll see like what you're working on. But like you said, like birthstones and like things like that, like, certain things you're still going to be able to do that still are kind of connected in a way, right?
yeah,
It's just not so like 100% this, right?
Yeah.
So
I
I mean, I meditate, right? But I don't meditate maybe at your level, right? But I still meditate and I'm still interested in it, right? I'm still interested in what it does to you, in your mind and your body and how it relaxes you and de-stresses and all that stuff. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to necessarily go to that level, but I'm still interested in it. So I might be into something that you're selling that's spiritual or that's meditation or so all I'm saying is we just need to go a little broader, right? And that sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. So Chris, let's do it. Let's pull up the shop now that we've kind of teed everything up here. And let's see where we're at. Okay, cool. So my first thought is I love it. I love the design. I love the banner. I see a smiling face up there. I see a yoga pose. I see a bag. I see a candle. Yeah, I mean, I like it. And deepening our connection to self. Perfect little message. Soul, nature, animals, love, conscious choices, intentional living. Yeah, I mean, right here, I love the look of the store. Chris, what's your thoughts?
First things, this little photo right here, Pedro, I'd swap that to something with the look you have going now. That gives me more spiritual, and just to be totally stereotypical here,
man.
Right? Like, I love this photo, but you right now, like, if you were to come to me and be like, "Dude, you're meditating wrong," I'd be like, "All right, tell me." just
First impressions.
And that does make a difference for good or bad.
Yeah,
I like where you're going with this, and I think this angle opens us up to the different versions of spirituality, right? And it sounds like what you are passionate about is the spirituality that helps people connect with themselves, their own soul, with nature, with love, like with whatever that energy is, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be based in Buddhism, but it's anything that brings them closer to that connection. And I really like that angle. And I think that there's something here, just looking at this, that's the vibe that I get from the shop. And that opens up actually a lot of possibilities as we start diving into some of the products that we're seeing.
And I like that you're following some advice here. Join our VIP club for monthly giveaways. There you go. Looks like Pedro's paying attention and he's doing his homework.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Okay. Birthday candle, personalized, birth month flower.
That candle there has sold 21 out of 26 sales so far. So that was like this one that you're hovering on.
Oh, the birthday candle.
That one, yeah.
Okay. Birthday candle, personalized gift with zodiac sign. Okay. It's interesting.
And I recently got my first reviews and I added them to the next image, like you also advised to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, scroll through some of the pictures, Chris. Yeah, these are great.
Got that sweet QR code going on.
Yeah.
So here's something with this, Pedro, and I think this is just making sure that we start slanting thing towards where we want to be. We're seeing that this type of look and feel is selling really well. There's the possibility that we can start to take this same product idea and design style and apply it more towards the things you actually care about, which would be, all right, instead of a personalized birthday candle, it's a personalized meditation candle or a personalized something, right? Along those lines of the meditation, spirituality side of it.
Hey, real quick, I wanted to give you a little behind the scenes on how these Etsy shop audits even happen. Every single month, Chris Schaefer and I, we meet and we batch record 3 to 4 of these episodes. Then they get edited and they get posted like the one you're watching right now. But what we decided to do is create what we call our Backstage Pass Club. This is where all of our club members, they get to join us on that recording as we're doing it live. The other cool thing is you're able to ask questions and you also can get access to the recordings before they ever air, immediately, raw and unedited. You even get all the questions that were asked that you might have missed because, well, maybe you couldn't attend that one live. So if you'd like to be part of our Backstage Pass Club and join our next batch recording session, head on over to brandcreators.com/club or click the link in the description. Now, let's get back to the audit.
So just keep that in mind. Since we're seeing that this is working, this design style, which is more of like a natural look and feel, right? People would probably call this boho. You guys can feel free to yell at me in the comments, right? Whatever boho means these days. But it's that style of like natural looking design. We can start to apply this to some other things as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at that too. You got 5 in carts on this. So, yeah, this is all good. I mean, so you have ads obviously running towards these?
Yeah. I have ads running on, I'd say 95% of my products right now.
And this one here is the one that's starting to take.
Mm-hmm.
So on the data on the back end of your Etsy ads, did you look at your search data to see the keywords?
Yeah.
And what were you seeing?
Oh, I'd say that from around 20, I only had to turn off a couple. The rest were all like birthday candle, zodiac candle, Taurus gift. But it was pretty much everything focused on birthday, zodiac, birth flower, maybe birthstone, which, like you said, are kind of tangential to my original idea.
Mm-hmm.
And since I got my extremely humble jackpot with this candle,
right?
Then I said, hey man, I got the jackpot, so let's play again. So I started creating things along this line. So I created more candles. I transferred this design to a tote bag, thinking maybe it could be also successful. And then doing product research, I realized that this birth flower thing is quite a thing on Etsy.
It is.
Like, it's unbelievable. There are tote bags selling like 30,000 a month.
Mhm.
And they just have your birth flower and your name. So I've been trying to replicate these successful products, trying to incorporate my personal touch, if possible. And that's what I've been doing probably for the last 2 months.
And I don't think that's a bad strategy. I guess what I'm looking at is like, okay, we hit, let's say we hit a winner. Okay. Where do we go from here and who's buying this is, I guess, my question. And it's like, is it someone, obviously it's a birthday candle, but it's personalized gift for her with zodiac sign. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to say it's personalized gift for her with zodiac sign. That's probably what the main thing is. And Chris, I mean, let's spitball here a little bit. So like, what else can we build off of this? Or what else would someone buy alongside this?
Yeah, I think anything Zodiac related, I think would work for here. And Pedro, the other thing that occurs to me when I see something like this, and it's not necessarily the same target customer, but it is more in line with who you really want at the end of the day, would be something related to chakras or something, right? Because it's personalized for that experience.
Yeah.
So that may be a route we want to go down.
Oh,
But
yeah.
before we do that, because we're more focused on getting people in right now before we go down, the satisfying the spiritual side of Pedro. I would just be taking a look, Scott, here at Zodiac and see what pops up. So let me do that really fast. So we can see that there are some tote bags and things starting to pop up here, but let's just sort this really fast.
Yeah, there's your candle. Last nerve candle. That's not the same.
I like that though.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Psychic drawings, right? Birth chart, birth date candle, right?
Yep.
So we're
That
seeing some
was
composition.
one of the main inspiration for mine.
I'm liking this monthly sales number though. I like that a lot.
Hey, I wanted to cut in here real quick. If you're wondering what tool we're using to gather all of this information and to really make these important decisions on products, well, the tool is called Everbee. It's the only tool that we personally use for everything Etsy. They have everything from product research, keyword research, and they also offer email marketing now. That tool you can get access to absolutely free when you visit brandcreators.com/Everbee, and you'll get 10 free searches for the month. You can try it out before you invest in this tool. My recommendation is every single Etsy seller should be using this tool. So if you want to try it, go to brandcreators.com/Everbee, and you can go ahead and get access to it immediately. All right, let's get back to the audit.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's a lot here for just the Zodiac side of this, but let's go back, Scott, to the top here and just look at what pops up for the auto suggest. Zodiac Academy, Zodiac mug. Okay, so this, and again, we'd want to look at the actual sales volume here. But we can take that same kind of design, apply it to some wall art, apply it to a lot of those different kinds of things and see what's happening. But a lot of the stuff here, Scott, at the top level is like astrology readings or Zodiac readings. You seeing anything that's really sticking out here on the Zodiac side of it?
Yeah, no, I guess that's where I was coming up on a little bit of a wall. Is like, okay, where do I go from here? Right? If this is what you're going to now kind of position everything towards, or at least for now, you're going to try to build out this, this side of it. Now you said birth flower. So maybe we look at birth flower and then look and see, is there anything else? Now you said you already started to build off of this. What did you already add from this?
The last items I've been listing are exactly this type of art, prints, framed canvases. I try to make my listings like Chris always says, so you can choose every format, not just the digital download, but I'm doing digital download plus art print alone plus framed plus canvas. You can see them. I just started last week with them.
Okay. Which I think that's fine. I guess I'm just struggling with like, who's my audience?
Me too. When I've been like sort of rehearsing this moment with you guys, I was trying to clarify that myself. Like, who's my audience? How could I define that? How could I put it in words? Is it a plant gardener lover? Is it just, I don't know. I think everything right now for me is too vague.
Well, and I think part of it is that you've had a little bit of success on a product that you initially put up, and now you're trying to create a business around that.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of a trap, if you will, because it's like, you're like, well, I got this one thing and it's selling, it's got potential to sell a whole bunch.
But I know this part was going to come and I'm ready to be scolded, Scott. So go ahead.
No, I'm not going to scold you.
I know, but I deserve it. So it's fine.
No, but I'm looking at it like, if I was in your shoes, right, and I saw this, I'd be like, okay, I can still keep selling this, but I need to get focused on an audience, right? Like you said, meditation, and I'm just using this, like, I want the meditation lover, right? Like I want that person that all they do is think about meditation, and they're thinking about, I want to get a certain throw pillow for my meditation room. I want to get a candle for my meditation thing, right? And I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if that's the thing, but I'm trying to think of like the person and the group. The person and the group is what I'm looking for. And if I can't find that, like, I'm not really going to go down that road. That's why, I mean, we've never done the throw spaghetti at the wall. We've just never done it. It's just, I'm not built that way. I'm always built like, you know, we're into photography. We're going to basically start reaching people that want to learn photography. Okay, cool. That's where I'm going to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's always directly related to usually a group of people, but also usually it's for something that we have been into or we're in. So you're in to being spiritual. You're in to meditation. You're in to, you know, self, you know, help, you know, and making yourself a better version. But what, you know, we're trying to find like, what is that one area that you can go down? If you did meditation, you can totally still do the, you know, the candle that you just launched. That doesn't, that's not like disjointed. But I think forcing it around, like, I think it's fine to take the design that you did and put it on a blanket, put it on a pillow, put it on a, you know, whatever, right? I think that's okay because it's already there. You don't, it doesn't matter about the validation on that part because it's just, you've already created it. But now you have to come to the point, like, you want to be able to sit down and go, I'm creating for the meditation lover. And that's all I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, you need that clarity in order to have a good direct line to growth. Chris, what you saying?
I'm struggling to define the person, but Pedro, I want to get your feedback on this. If we created a place where people could come to have mindfulness moments, because that's really what a lot of this is about, whether it's they're thinking about their zodiac, they're thinking about meditation, they're thinking about spirituality, right? Like, if we come at it from that angle, does that satisfy the spiritual side of you as well as the business side of you, as long as the money is there? So that would, like, mindfulness would include the meditation. That would include some of the Eastern things like chakras and tantra and some of those kinds of things. Is that something that's interesting?
Now, right now, I just want to create a successful business.
Okay.
That's my main priority. And after I tried, I realized that there is not enough market. I mean, you could run a quick search, and I struggled really to find a keyword that would bring like more than 10 or 20 sales a month. Meditation. I mean, yoga. The problem with yoga is that there's so many people using that as a keyword that it kind of pollutes the search.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're going to find tons of yoga t-shirts that are not truly related to yoga. And then at the same time, what I can provide for yoga lovers working with Printify, I don't think it really satisfies the buyer that's maybe looking for something that's more connected to that. I mean, like yoga pants, for example. I'm just going to provide synthetic fibers and things that are not that crafted. That. So that's why I was saying that I kind of gave up going that route, because I don't think there's the potential that I need to make this as I'm trying to make this my full-time job, my main source of income. So I don't think going that route is going to deliver that.
But Pedro, let me just say this. If we took Etsy out of the equation, I know we're doing an Etsy shop audit, but if we took Etsy out of this equation, we wouldn't be even having this conversation.
I don't know because I mean, let me tell you, I'm as passionate as that I am about meditation, about nature and hiking or sports. Sometimes people that don't really know me, when they realize that I'm an absolute European football, of course, fanatic, they're like, wow, that doesn't suit you. And I'm like, and then who are you to say that,
Yeah.
I just like it. I was a football player. I was a football coach, and I've done that for more than 30 years of my life. So sometimes I think, why don't I do that, which is probably my most developed field of expertise, and just have a sports shop? But I mean, on top of that, I'm an amateur photographer. I even had a small business in Washington State as a real estate photographer while I was living there. So, and I traveled the world with my wife for 2 years straight. So I have photos from all corners of the world, and I'm thinking sometimes that I could create a shop that's based on that. And after I've seen the profit that you get from prints compared to everything I'm selling, there's like some force inside of me pulling me towards that. So as you can see, I need clarity because I have all these doubts and all these potential avenues in my head. And
I just think that because also though that you're looking at this business as primarily what can work on Etsy, you're kind of holding yourself back. Because if I was to say, if you went to Facebook right now, you're going to find groups with hundreds of thousands of people into yoga and meditation.
Yeah.
So do you think if you created products for people, print on demand around that, and then you did a giveaway and you advertised it on Facebook, that you would build an audience there of people that would raise their hand because they would want it? Of course.
Yeah.
And do you think that you could sell those people things? Because now you have a group of people that are into that stuff that aren't necessarily on Etsy right now. So all I'm saying is, like, people are always looking at the business side as like, it's only Etsy. And I'm a fan of that, but it's like, you can't bank everything on that when you are trying to build a full-fledged business. Now I did want to say this because this was some good stuff. Just had a thought. Maybe you could do spiritual milestones, sort of like new beginnings candle, healing journey candle, maybe something to look into to expand your catalog. I like that idea.
Thanks for the thought.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think people would want to buy a healing candle. So and there's all different types of healing. It could be mentally healing. You know what I mean? It could be anything, or you just got through a big ordeal. So that's something to look into. I thought this was interesting too. You could create meditation or manifestation journals.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a good idea too.
you know what I mean? So just some ideas to kind of look into. But I guess what I'm hearing is like we're only looking at, and you're kind of holding yourself back, I think, because you're looking at the numbers and only thinking that you have to hit them on the one platform. And I think if you're going to build a real business, you don't want to think to yourself, and I'm saying a real business, like you're talking over $5,000 a month. That's a real business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not talking a couple $100 or whatever. Like we're talking, that's a real legit business. And sometimes, you know, yes, you might be able to get there. And I think you can get there with what you have on Etsy, but I don't want you to only think that that's all that you can do. Is that I think there is probably definitely enough demand there if you work at it for the spiritual, the meditation, now doing, like you said, the healing candles, still doing your birth flower candle with because you have candles and it's zodiac, it's still in that field, right? So I think just kind of piecing that stuff together could probably get you there. But I would really like you to hone in on one of those audiences. You know, like I said, the meditation or the yoga or combined, because really to me, those go hand in hand. If people are doing yoga, they're meditating, vice versa.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's worth putting those together. And that's kind of where I was going with like the mindfulness moments thought was like, okay, we can think about this as a journey, or we can think about this as the intention that people are putting around this. And that is the opening, Pedro, that I see within the Etsy ecosystem is, yes, there's a lot of people doing general yoga stuff, but that doesn't mean that we can't find a way to insert ourselves in that. And actually, we do see a ton of demand on Etsy for yoga, for meditation. We just have to figure out how to make our mark there. And I think the inspiration that I'm taking from the Zodiac candle that's doing really well is it's about one specific. And so if we can find a through line here that is like meditating on a specific thing. Scott, I think you mentioned, or somebody in the comments mentioned, like getting over a breakup, or like meditating on a specific thing, creating those moments for people that has the sales potential and the potential to bring us into them. If that's not the thing at the end of the day that you're super passionate about, then create a store that you are super passionate about that has the easy demand. But if you want to connect those two things, there is a way to do it. We just have to work through this a little bit and say, okay, maybe I can't do all of this print on demand through Printify. Maybe I need to go to Gelato, or maybe I need to find somebody who will do print on demand colored candles so that I can sell, you know, one for each chakra or whatever it is. There is a way to make this work. We just have to get kind of creative.
Have you looked into that chakra?
Yeah, I did.
I'd look into that.
I did. Yeah, when I started, but my main concern with all this advice is that they all look to me like great ideas, hard to implement on the Etsy ecosystem. Like, is there going to be a market for that? Is there demand? How am I going to bring this great idea? And I'm sure I can provide a cool design, because I think that that's one of the parts of the entire process that I do.
Sure.
That's pretty good. But is there demand for that? And is there enough demand? And how am I going to market things that I haven't barely seen, you know, that they're like maybe novelties or things, I don't know.
Here was another one, meditation for marriage journal. That'd be great for a wedding gift for a couple. I think with what we're saying though, Pedro, is like, we know that the wedding niche is huge. So that little tip there with meditation for, you know, wedding, marriage, whatever, like that could be something that you could tap into and you could test very, very easily.
I like that idea.
Yeah. And so, and I think really having this to me is like, this here is a great idea. And that was given in the comments, is some type of healing that the candle is representing. Like that right there in itself, like that's right in line with what kind of popped for you. And you're still now in the meditation yoga because it's kind of like, and even if someone doesn't buy it for being like, maybe they don't meditate, but they want to burn a candle. And every time they light it, they want to think about something or someone.
Yeah, no,
right.
It could just be my gratitude candle, anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
That is something that is huge in the spirituality space, Pedro, and when I say spirituality, I mean it the way that you and I were talking about it, not the way that it shows up necessarily on Etsy, it's about the intention of what happens when you use that object, be it that candle. And we can make it very specifically like, screw my ex-boyfriend candle, like to heck with that guy candle, or we can make it more like along the lines of the things you would want to be meditating on, being present, right? So when this candle is lit, I am present. Being in the moment, right? Any of these kinds of things, we can create a lot of candles around that, or a lot of pillows, or whatever the object is. And what we're then able to do is take things outside of what we would consider to be the spirituality space and look at the intention of what people are looking for when they're looking for that, and start to create the store that way. And I think the best example would be like the getting over it or the letting go candle, right? You're going to see like breakup gifts. Okay, let's market it that way. That's not what the intention of the candle is, but it's a breakup gift. And the purpose that they're using that for is to meditate, to get over it, to do those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And we had another comment here. Gratitude and manifesting are big on Etsy. And I agree.
My wife is so into it. I have a source of knowledge and inspiration right next to me. And I would like to take advantage of this moment to thank all the people in the group that are just so amazing. This community we have been building around you guys. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
my gratitude is for you.
I would look into the manifestation, spiritual meditation, throw yoga in there. The candles, I think is a great place to start because you've already done the candles, and then start to build that out with these other candles in mind. But I mean, journals, you could go with journals, and I know journals are selling, but if you just did your searches on manifestation, gratitude, you're probably going to find a whole slew of things that you could potentially sell. And then that's aligned with what you're doing. And like you said, you're married to someone that's already doing it. So
I'm starting to feel it, guys.
You're starting to feel it?
Yeah, I'm being honest. For the first time, I was a bit like lost in all this because I could see the product and I could see the concept behind it and the intention. And Chris, you're using the perfect word. I couldn't see how I would transfer that into my shop. But now it's starting to grow.
Sometimes it takes a little bit. You got to work it. It's not something that comes overnight.
And Scott, sorry for interrupting you. I don't want to miss the thought. One of my main struggles was to find keywords or concepts. Like, I think it was Fruitanical Words just said, gratitude and manifesting are big on Etsy. So believe it or not, those two words didn't cross my mind. So I didn't do research for them. And probably I was missing out on huge things that are so absolutely within my niche.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was one of my main struggles.
Yeah. Here was another one from Bailey. I just wanted to throw up here real quick, Chris. A candle line based on spiritual virtues, patience, fortitude, strength, could possibly market it to many different people. Gifts for grieving, new job, stress relief. I mean, these are great.
Wow, yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I found this one, and it's funny that we've been using the word intention, right? This one, and this is the shop view for a shop called Sentient Self. And if we drill into some of these, we'll see that they have a bunch of different things. And I would probably list these out, Pedro, in the way that they have it displayed, not the way that they have them listed out. But we can see they're getting 325 monthly sales from an herbal intention candle, 101 monthly sales from a manifestation candle, right? And so if we're thinking about intentionality, manifestation, if that's the route that we're taking, there's absolutely volume here on Etsy. And this is not the only shop, because I got here by looking at the search results. This was like the 5th shop down that I found that's selling some of these things.
Look at that, 20
right?
in 20 plus carts.
With the intention of healing. So the healing intention candle, or the healing intention pillow, or the healing intention, whatever we want to do. Now that Printify is coffee, we can sell them intentional coffee. It doesn't matter, right? Love, abundance, sweet dreams, happiness, manifestation, any of these kinds of things we can start to incorporate. And yes, these are not necessarily the exact same candle that you will find on Printify or any of the other print on demand places, but the intention is the same.
Yep.
I need to find a different word for that. The use of the product is going to be the same, regardless
intention
of whether you're making it yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you even look at that though, intention candle with crystals, like it's called intention, right? And it's a word that, like you said, Pedro, that maybe you weren't thinking of using because you didn't think of it.
Yeah.
But now it's like all of a sudden, it's like all of these ideas can come in, and now all of a sudden you're starting to see the pieces connect. And, you know, like I said, I mean, that's funny. The last nerve candle.
Well, so we made fun of this at the beginning of this audit.
I know.
You might remember. But if this is what we're going after, right? The intention of this is for you to de-stress when you're on your last nerve, right? There's a reason this sells $28,000 a month. It's because people are buying it as a gag gift for people who are super stressed out, right? But we can take some of that market and some of the intention behind that, which is, hey, this is to give you a moment of peace in your day. This is to remind you that just because you're on your last nerve, it's not the end of the world, right? That's what these things are really for. And if we can come at it with that approach, then we're able to find things. And this is actually the search, Pedro, that led me to find that Sentient Self shop, right? And we can even see this one right here is popping up, right? We're seeing a lot of candles around intention, around trust the universe, right? This is selling $2,700 a month. This is a manifestation candle. They're throwing every keyword that we've discussed under the sun into that title, right?
Yeah.
Manifestation, magic, spirituality, energy, love, chakra, law of attraction, handmade birthday, right? Literally every keyword that we've talked about in the last 40 minutes is in this title. And so we can see that there is demand here. It's just a matter of drilling down and thinking through the different ways that we can enter the market until we find or manifest the keywords that we're looking for.
I think we just brought the energy to this, is what I think. I think we brought it from the universe and we made it happen here on this Etsy shop audit. That's what I think.
We're creating this truly spiritual and connection moment between all of us. I mean it, guys.
I believe it as well.
I was feeling it like a bit of a knot for a moment, and all of a sudden it exploded into something beautiful with everyone commenting, and now I see it. I see the clarity. I like it.
I love it. So
love it. Yeah.
I can tell already though that you're an action taker, right? Like you've already done so much since you've been here on our lives with nothing. And then all of a sudden you start telling us you got a few products, and then all of a sudden you've got a full shop, and then you've got 20 some sales. It's like you're doing stuff and it's good. Like the thing is, you've got good design skills. You've got good ideas. And now it's just a matter of like taking this and shaping it and putting it into play. And I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to do it.
Next time you talk to me, I'll be showcasing my 10K.
I am going to be looking forward to that. Let's do it even before you hit the 10K. Let's do it before that. Let's do it when you hit like $2,000 a month. Then we'll have you back on.
Please, man. I would be so happy to say I got my first K.
Well, we're going to get you your first K.
We got that K back that we took away at the beginning when we were looking just at yoga and meditation, right? We added the K back to the 5, and that's what really matters here. Pedro, this is another one you may want to look at, New Moon Beginnings. We can see, again, it's the healing, good vibes, protection, energy cleansing. It's more of the like energy and environment side of spirituality, but it doesn't mean that we can't start there and then start moving into some of the other things if that's what makes us happy at the end of the day, because this is what's going to satisfy the bank account side of Pedro, and then we can figure out how to make sure that we're satisfying the spiritual side of Pedro.
Yeah, Sherry says, I think so too. I can feel the shift in Pedro. That's awesome. And people are thanking you for sharing, Pedro. Being so open.
Yeah.
So cool.
My
So,
pleasure.
all right. So I think we found it. I think we stumbled on that little bit of untouched earth, and then we dug a little bit. We started to kind of I like gold rush, so I talk about gold mining. So we got it through the hopper, and now we're starting to kind of get the fine gold out, and now we're going to refine it a little bit more. So I think we're on it. I think we're on the gold.
Mm-hmm.
So
too,
all
I
right,
feel it.
Pedro, any last quick questions before we let you go and do all of your homework?
Oh man, right now I don't have any. The moment I turn this off, I will have 1,000 popping up in my head. But I think I've got enough for now.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you coming on and doing this. And all we ask is that when you do, start to implement this and start to get those results, we just want you to give us an update. We want you to come back on. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, that sounds amazing. Yeah,
all right. Any last words for anybody that's going to be potentially in this hot seat in the future?
On my seat, you mean?
Yeah. Like how was it? How was the shop audit?
This is absolutely worth it. To begin with, it's fun, and I enjoyed it a lot. I was really looking forward to meeting you guys and talking to you in person. It's been amazing. But what you get from this is, this is worth a lot of money in real life. Having someone like you guys going through your business and giving you all this advice, this is, I feel like the gold rush, like Chaplin in the 20s,
Nice.
Getting all the nuggets. And I'm extremely thankful to you guys because this is priceless to me. I would also like to extend that to everyone on the chat, everyone in this community, sharing their thoughts and helping out. So I'm really thankful for all of that. Well,
awesome. And we're so happy for you. And we can't wait to see what you do with this now. So I'm going to let you run. So you got those homework assignments that you're going to be doing. And all we ask is that you keep us up to date. But I want to say thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
So that's a wrap for this Etsy shop audit. But if you want to watch more, well, you can find some more right here. And if you do, well, I'll see you there.